Hey, everybody. Welcome to My Fat Hands. I'm George. I don't know where the hell Ben is because he keeps flipping slides on me. So let's say he's there, or he might
my
be
fat
here.
hands.
Oh, my fat. He's getting all busy.
Welcome to My Fat Hands.
K10100101. That's right. We got a new band of FM. And it's all ones and zeros. We're all digital here, folks.
Warning, My Fat Hands contains adult content, crude language, and stupid jokes. If any of this upsets you, get the f*** out.
Oh, my Lord.
Yeah, so, did you see the thing that the CDC took away the face mask regulations for indoor? At least for us.
I heard about that, and I actually went inside of 2 different buildings today, and I wore my mask because I'll probably be wearing my mask for the rest of my life just because I've grown so accustomed to it. Yeah. And the thing is that if you have bad teeth, it's a great thing.
Great teeth. So, yeah, also, if you don't want to shave, it's also really good.
Yeah.
Or if you just don't feel like looking at anybody, that's also good because you could just keep your mask on.
Absolutely.
And you don't have to look or deal with anybody. I took mine off today. We went to the supermarket. I felt good not wearing it. It was good. Mm-hmm. My wife still wore hers, and she'll wear hers for a while too, I'm sure. But it was nice to not feel like
But by the way,
under the threat of death. I don't know.
That is my favorite thing to see at supermarkets is when you see an obvious couple and one is wearing a mask, the other isn't. It's like, okay.
Yeah, the car ride home is going to be fun.
Yeah, it's like, all right, that's whatever floats your boat, man.
Yeah. Actually, really Jen wore a mask in the car for a while too.
There you go. It's funny because I went to go see my doctor, I guess like 6 or 7 months ago. And I asked him, I said, I'm boosted, I'm vaxxed, I'm fully boosted. Should I wear, what are you doing when you mask? And he says, well, when I go to restaurants, I don't wear a mask, but when I go to the supermarket, I do.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, that's what because I've been in a restaurant like once or twice. I'm like, that's what I do. And that's really stupid. It's because you're generally in the supermarket a lot less time than you are in a restaurant. And you're generally much further away from people in the supermarket than you are in a restaurant.
And people aren't sitting there talking loudly in the supermarket.
So it's kind of ass backwards. You should wear your mask in the restaurant.
But how can you eat? How do you eat if you're wearing a mask? Yeah.
That's why
you have a straw. Anyway. Like you have to blend everything. Yeah.
That's why I eat. That's the way I normally eat. You should see me eat cereal. I go through like 4 T-shirts. It's great.
Listen, this past 2 years have sucked. And this year's not shaping up to be any better. So,
well, you know what? It has sucked and it hasn't sucked. I mean, I in the last 2 years, I caught my first carp. Mm-hmm. I caught my biggest carp. That's it. So, yeah. So
in the last 2 years, let's see. We've been inside the house for 2 years. I lost my job. My son didn't get to go to graduation. He went to college, but it was terrible. So he came home. What are all the other things? Yeah. So,
excuse me.
My mother-in-law died. So
I'm loading my shotgun. So please continue.
Open wide and just.
Oh my God. Well, you got a great job at a great company now, so that's good.
Yeah, I'm a temp. I'm disposable. They're sucking the juice out of me, and then they're going to drop me by the side of the road.
For those of you who don't know, Ben is unreplaceable in his current position, and he is adored. So don't believe the hype. I don't care what Flava Flav says.
This will get edited out.
Leon the Lobster is doing the edit.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yes, so Ben. Would you like to hear a George story?
Yeah, let's go. Bring it on. Cheer us up. As long as it's not about COVID or herpes. Let's go.
Well, so much for that story.
Oh, ben, do you have one on standby that you could bring in?
I have so many stories backed up.
Is it about the time you caught COVID and herpes?
It is. I got my herpes had COVID. It was terrible. All right, so here it is. A George story. So I don't know if I ever mentioned this, but I used to work for a telecom company called Sprint. And when I was traveling the country, going to the most unique locations on planet Earth, we went to a site, we're working at a site called VV, Indiana. And in case you're wondering about the average IQ in Indiana, by the way, if you're one of our subscribers in Indiana, I love you. They spell VV in Indiana VEVAY. And that's how you spell VV Indiana. To get to VV Indiana, we had to travel through a town called Patriot, Indiana. And in Patriot, Indiana, and we passed by it many, many times daily, going to and from where we were staying. They had a general store. And I'm not talking about a general dollar store or a five and dime store. By the way, I should mention that the population, and this is in 2004 or 2003, the population of Patriot, Indiana in 2004 was 250 people live in this town, which winds right along the Ohio River. So during this time, I was a heavy smoker. And one day I was like, I couldn't take it anymore. I had to go buy some cigarettes. And so we stopped at the Patriot General Store. And inside the Patriot General Store is everything you can buy in a Walmart in a 100-foot by 100-foot building. It was insane. They had everything from gingham to sides of beef. It was the most bizarre, surreal thing ever. They had cigarettes, they had cereal, they had engine parts. Everything that you could buy in America, you could buy at the general store in Patriot, Indiana. It was absolutely awesome. On a side note, outside the general store was a historical marker. From the historical marker, you could see the Ohio River is about 100 feet behind the historical marker. Patriot, Indiana is the birthplace of the general engineer who created Hoover Dam. So that meant that this kid would get up in his town, and I'm sure when he lived there was a town, it was 100 people, and he'd look at the Ohio River and he'd say, one of these days I'm stopping that fucker. And so his life goal was to build a gigantic dam to stop a gigantic river, and he accomplished it. Very impressive. Hats off. I wish I could remember the gentleman's name. It may appear here. It may appear there. I don't know where anything is anymore. I don't know where Ben is. I don't know where I am. I don't know what's going on. So anyway, so the funny part of the story is that for this trip, excuse me, we have.
Wait, there's a funny part?
No, not really, but it's the story continues. So we had rented a Subaru Outback, which, by the way, amazing car. I was shocked at how much I love the Subaru Outback.
Yeah, it's a great car. We got one.
Cool. Yeah, it's awesome. And this is a 2002 Subaru Outback.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we pull in to the general store, and these two kids who I want everybody to close their eyes and imagine what the children in Patriot, Indiana are wearing at any given time. Eyes closed. Okay, open them. If you said barefoot, no shirt with overalls, ding, you win, because that's what they were both wearing. And I think it was during school hours. I have no idea. Anyhow, they're walking around the car. One of the kids is probably 13. The other one's maybe 10. And they're just like, what kind of car is that? And I was like, it's a Subaru Outback. That's amazing. That's the coolest car I've ever seen. All righty. Well, okay. Well, thank you very much. I said, well, maybe someday you'll be able to get one. And
maybe someday you'll see another.
Yeah.
Maybe someday you'll watch a commercial on TV.
Right. I just like,
it'll have a guy with a big knife.
I mean, it's not like this is a Ferrari F40 or a Ferrari Enzo, some super limited. There's only 4 of them on planet Earth. It's fucking Subaru
Bugatti
Outback.
Or something.
You know, they got them in Indiana. I mean, they got them anywhere. That's the thing. I mean, anyway. So I thought that story was particularly funny. That these they were very polite. They were very nice children. I'm sure they're probably an astronaut and a doctor now, would be my guess. Or they went to go design a bigger, better dam. I have no idea. But yes, they were absolutely spellbound by the mystery vehicle that is the Subaru Outback.
Right. The exotic supercar.
That's right.
That is the Outback.
And if an image does appear, I sure hope it's a 2003. And it actually was like that color, green, blue.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I'm envisioning. Like that that emerald green color. Absolutely, green and tan.
That's the one. Yeah,
100%.
That's the one. Bing. Yeah. And but I'll tell you what, we drove the shit out of that car. We drove it through little tiny creeks. We drove it through. It snowed. I mean, it was a great car. It's absolutely probably the best rental car I ever had during the 2 years. And I was in a lot of different rental cars in 2 years. So
yeah, you can't like go rocking in them, but you can go pretty much everywhere else. You know,
you can, but it's gonna be a one-way trip.
But yeah, you're gonna get you're gonna be like, yeah.
Thank you. Good night. Please, somebody come pick up the Outback.
Right.
Helicopter. But it's talking about things that are old and children. It reminds me of myself when I was young. And there used to be a couple of brothers who put out some of the most wackadoo awesome stuff known to man. Ben, of whom do I speak?
The Croft brothers. Yeah. Sid and Marty Croft. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Incredible.
Awesome. Right. Yes. So do you remember any of the show's titles offhand?
Banana Splits.
Nope. Hanna-Barbera.
Sigmund and the Sea Monster.
Sigmund and the Sea Monster. Land of the
Lost, right?
Yup.
Are you sure about the Hanna-Barbera thing? And
I am 100% sure.
All right.
But I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. I can Google it right now. We got the things. Right. Also, they had what was it? Space Nuts.
Yeah, those were so short-lived. Like I forgot about those until you reminded me about them. The space.
Yeah. Oh yeah, HR Puffinstuff.
HR Puffinstuff. HR Puffinstuff. Right. That is so weird. That show was so weird.
But by the way, while we're talking about HR Puffinstuff, and I have my hands in this configuration, I would like I think it was Puffinstuff was the dragon. I'd like his image to appear right here. And then Mayor McCheese from McDonald's fame of the same era, I would like his face to appear right here. Because I think HR Puffinstuff and Mayor McCheese are cousins. I think they are closely related. And then oh, wasn't there a cop or something in HR Puffinstuff that kind of looked like Grimace or something?
I don't know. I just barely remember the show. I just remember there was like a magic flute that could talk. Remember the magic flute? I
think Jimmy was the main character's name, and he had the magic flute. Yes.
Yeah. And
then was Witchy Poo on HR Puffinstuff?
Witchy Poo.
And Witchy Poo was trippy.
Yeah. Oh, the whole thing was trippy. Yeah.
Oh, it was just.
And she was trying to catch the kid all the time, which was kind of a freaky thing. And she was trying to catch the flute, and the flute would cry and be afraid and stuff.
Oh, yeah,
it was like terrible. A nightmare, really, is what this was.
It destroyed the entire generation, and we loved it. And then there was the Bugaloos. And if I recall correctly, the Bugaloos were actually people with wings, like dragonfly wings, whatever.
And there was mushrooms and trees. They could all talk.
Yeah. And I think they were in a band.
I don't know.
I think they were a band. And then there's another like horrible woman that wanted to kill them too, or capture them or whatever. That if I recall, she like kind of looked like Phyllis Diller, bing, or something weird like that. And it was very trippy. There's kind of a recurring theme with Sid and Marty Croft that you have these, cool or trippy things, and then they're trying to get like Land of the Lost. You have Marshall, Will, and Holly. Yeah, and they're all cool and all gussied up, and then everything wants to eat them and kill them. It's great.
Right, and the Slee Stacks.
Yeah,
so creepy.
That's the noise they made.
Yeah,
and they had big eyes.
Yeah, that was a really great, scary monster for a TV, like a kid's TV show. It was so good because they moved so slow. Yeah.
Oh yeah. But no, I love Land of the Lost. As a matter of fact, I used to go to Hebrew school on Saturday mornings.
Oh, so you couldn't see the show? Thanks,
Moses. Yeah. And I think Land of the Lost was like, so the Saturday morning cartoon started. I think Land of the Lost was like the last one before it went like ABC Sports or whatever the hell used to be on. I don't remember back
yeah.
then. And the agony of defeat. And you
Right,
have
the
this
guy
guy
with the
tumbling.
skier.
He missed the ski jump and like his head pops off and his
Yeah.
legs tumble down the mountain.
You saw like
It's like,
limbs
yeah.
popping out and stuff.
Like we were really destroyed as children. It was just brutal. But I think Landon lost. So we like whenever like we were done with, he was like, hurry up, Dad, we gotta get home.
Right.
And then you hear the banjo and Marshall Willis, the greatest earthquake ever known. And man, that's the fun was about to start.
Right.
Oh man,
the little teeny raft, and it goes down the river, and the rocks close behind it and stuff.
And you know who we forgot to mention?
No, who?
Chaka. We forgot to mention Chaka.
Yeah, that's right.
And
I always kind of wanted Chaka to get eaten, to be honest.
Yeah, I did too, because he was like the Jar Jar Binks of
he was kind of
Lost.
annoying. Yeah,
but there's all these rumors about Chaka that the actor that played him was like a 9th degree black belt or something like that. So and I think that was true. I think he was I don't know. We'll stick with that.
Beats me. Sounds good to me.
And that actor
somebody proved me wrong.
And that actor grew up to be Bruce Willis.
Really? Wow.
No, not really. Yes, really. Yeah. That's what are the odds?
That's amazing.
Isn't it? Whoever saw that? By the way, the Allosaurus, the hand puppet.
Yeah.
Demi Moore. A lot of people don't know
really,
this stuff.
and that's how they met.
That's how they met. Yep. And they dated.
I love hearing love stories like that.
20 years they dated before they got married.
That's beautiful.
Amazing.
It's a weird thing with what was the other Ashton Kutcher and her?
Yes.
And then he hung around. They like hung around with the kids and stuff. It was really weird.
Yeah, it was all very trippy. And
it's like when you get divorced, you're just not friends anymore. Why would you still hang out?
That's not true. There are people that they get. As a matter of fact, here's some.
I don't buy it. News. I don't buy it.
Here is some feel good news. Okay, this happened this week, so this is going to be your cheer me up. Ben Stiller, you know who Ben Stiller is?
Yeah.
And his wife.
She was in the Brady Bunch movie. I remember her.
Yes. And she was in Zoolander and she was in Dodgeball as well.
She was probably in Zoolander too.
Yes, as well. Also. Get it? So during COVID and taking care of the kids and all that stuff, they started spending a lot of time together, and they're now reconciled and they've gotten back together after 3 years apart.
Wow.
After 3 years. So how's that for a feel good movie or feel good
That may
moment?
be the only good thing that's happened in 2 years.
Boom.
The Brady Bunch,
Boom.
Marsha Brady and Ben Stiller knocking boots again. Thank goodness.
Boom. Boom. That's from your buddy George.
That's like the only good news I've heard in a while.
You know what the other good news is?
It's the weekend. That's
My fat hands. That's
good
news right there for you, buddy.
My fat
That's
hands.
good news. My fat hands coming right at you. Yeah, so we got that. Large and in charge, and without Marge, here we are. My fat hands. All right, folks, that's gonna do it. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much to our 91 subscribers. Thanks, Mom.
Thanks, Missy and Nathan.
Thanks, Missy and Nathan and the entire Schwade crew. All right, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye. Who is designing this shit? You know, some fecal-philiac.